Hey guys, it's Tracy with Young Hollywood. I'm standing here on the set of Shark Tank. They're about to start shooting and listening to all the pitches. I'm gonna go talk to them and hopefully I'm gonna make it out alive. Keep your fingers crossed. You're one of the toughest ones, I have to say.
You think I'm tough?
I think you're tough.
Oh, come on.
I
You
do.
haven't been watching the show.
I watch every episode. I've seen every
I'm
single
opinionated,
episode.
but I'm not tough.
I feel like this was like deja vu. We were just here last season and now
like
it's
almost exactly a year ago.
almost exactly a year ago in this
same
chair.
Spot.
And then season 8, show is so popular now. How would you say your level of expectations for entrepreneurs coming into the tank now? Has it evolved over the years?
The deals have gotten much better companies, bigger deals, more money. I just did a deal for $500,000. When I first started, the deals were $25,000, $50,000, $75,000. We went from those types of deals to, see, now there's a car right there. There's all kinds of big
there's actually
deals.
a legitimate car. That's why we couldn't stand over there.
Yeah, you're not allowed to look.
The big theme on season 8 is the deal sizes are huge, huge, huge.
We all have greater expectations because we've all made real money from the show. It's interesting, the show airs in 40 countries. This is the only country where the sharks, or the dragons as they're called, make consistent money on the show. So we have very high standard.
I'm finding that a lot of the entrepreneurs that are coming in now are better educated. They have much higher IQs. They're coming from wealthier families. They're a lot more savvy. They've got publicity. And those are exactly the entrepreneurs I don't invest in. What I'm always hunting for are the people who are really poor, really hungry, really insecure, have something to prove, somebody like me, so that I can relate to them and really help them along the way. And then you get the satisfaction of seeing the ugly duckling become the swan, and that's really what I'm always looking for.
I think that Shark Tank, I love the essence of it when it was that everyday mom and dad or that mompreneur, that entrepreneur who did not have all the big venture round capitalist stuff. I look for those people, the everyday people, and I start to look more for them.
You're a guest shark. How has the experience been for you? What's your process for like knowing who's an entrepreneur that's someone you want to invest in?
I don't have a lot of rules because what I think happens when you have a lot of rules for yourself is then you start seeing opportunities that might fit into those rules and you force them. So I try and confront every opportunity with a brand new, clear mind. I try and not prejudge a person or a product. I'm looking for stuff that just hasn't been flooded. I've made my money not by being a sheep, but by going out and leading the pack.
For me, I've kept my standards of investing. I've learned some things though. You know, I've learned about the entrepreneurs. I think sometimes you can see through certain things better, whereas in the beginning, I'm not sure I was prepared or looking for it. Now, not to say that there aren't a lot of surprises, because really, I never know who's coming in, what's gonna happen. I don't know what they're going to say. And things happen, you know, we get into fights. My fellow sharks yesterday, seriously.
So Cuban and I were butting heads on a deal.
You're always butting heads.
Because that's part of why I'm here. Somebody has to call BS at Mark Cuban.
Chris and I get into it all the time, so having him on the opposite side kind of balances things out and makes it more interesting.
Well, I'm gonna leave it as a teaser.
Wait, no, I want to.
But at the end, yesterday, the last pitch,
I
was like, oh my God, I want to get out of here alive.
Well, this year I've announced a new relationship with QVC. It's bad news for Lori because she was the queen,
what does Lori
and
think
now
about
I'm
that?
the king, and the rules of the monarchy are very strict at QVC.
I love the banter that goes on with you and the sharks. And everyone has their own methodology, their own style of investing. Is there someone's style that you actually really believe is the most successful?
Mine.
Besides yours,
I don't like doing business with any of the sharks. I really don't. I'll tell you why. You know what? It's just it's a bunch of chefs.
Other than your own, is there anyone of the sharks that you really believe in that has like the most successful way?
I believe in Barbara.
Barbara.
She
Okay.
takes crap that nobody in their right mind would invest in, and she makes it gold. Barbara is the queen of turning crap into gold.
You know, I've lowered my standards on which businesses I like, truly lowered them, because I find the businesses have very little to do with the success. But I have upped the ante on which entrepreneurs I'll give my money to, because I found that the entrepreneurs and their God-given talent and whether they're meant to be entrepreneurs determines their success. The minute they walk into the tank, I always know who I don't want. And you know what happens? You're meant to stand there for a good 3 minutes with the cameras on you before you're spoken to, and I could actually watch entrepreneurs falling apart before they say their first word. And that's never who I want as a business partner, because if they can't handle that pressure, what are they going to do when the real pressure hits?
Exactly. Your whole thing with calling out scam artists.
Yeah, I love it.
You love crushing
I
people.
love it. No, not crushing. Like if you're an entrepreneur and your heart's there and you're into this is your life, I'll give you advice. I'll never rip on you. If you're a scam artist and you're trying to take advantage of people,
Don't
like with
mess
the balance
with
bracelets and like if you do. No, or like Pavlok, instead of just taking a rubber band and twitching yourself, you like get zapped. I will nail your against the wall. So I love scam artists. Bring them on.
There's a difference between the entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurs. How do you know who's genuinely gonna succeed? Like how can you tell?
Well, for sure, there are certain characteristics that people have. I mean, to me, an entrepreneur is somebody who will do whatever it takes.
Right.
They're driven. They are A-type personalities. It's like they don't know the word no. And that's always been my mantra. I know no knows, just how can I? So when I see that person, I know that no matter what, even if they have to pivot, which is something that happens, maybe this isn't the best idea, but something else is, and you're going to change it, they're still going to make it because they have what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur.
Great companies have some structure. They've got some sales, they've got a team, they've got a track record. They may be falling on good and bad times, but at least they're in business.
Right.
When an entrepreneur comes in and says, look, give me $1 million and I have an idea, that's not the same. I prefer to work with people that have felt the sting of failure before, so they're motivated to succeed in the future.
There's entrepreneurs, there's wantrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Do you know right away when someone comes in the tank that this person is really a true entrepreneur versus someone who's like maybe trying to scam you?
I don't know immediately when they come in the tank, but I do know by the end of the time, I'm usually the first shark to get the gut feeling on if that person is, making mistakes because they don't know any better, or they're putting on an act, or they're trying to use the platform, or they're hardworking people that just need a shot. And I usually call it almost all the time right on the head.
Okay, and then lastly, your number one advice to entrepreneurs.
Find something you love to do and be good at it. Be great at it, and that's typically the start of a great business.
When you're an entrepreneur, it's really a 24/7 thing.
Right.
There isn't really work-life balance. You have to be committed and willing to work Sundays, Saturdays, evenings. It's not where you can just say, it's 9 to 5, I'm leaving.
Anything in life worth having should be hard, but you got to have a greater purpose, and there's nothing better than being an entrepreneur, setting your own schedule. I've never missed a swim meet. I've never missed anything. For my kids, you get to schedule your own time.
At the end of the day, being an entrepreneur is a huge sacrifice, but it's not about the money, it's about the freedom. That's what I tell people. Entrepreneurship is about achieving freedom. And that's why everybody comes on this carpet. They also want to be free. It's a very powerful, visceral experience to watch it happen, and I'm so proud to be part of it.